Hello, hello, hello. Happy Tuesday, happy February. Be careful driving for those of you who are driving. Hello, Fiona. Hi, hi. Thank you for joining. Thank you for coming in. Get yourself comfortable for our February. Nancy's here as well. Thank you. Thank you so much for being here. Happy February. Get yourself comfortable for our February, beginning of February class contemplation on our life's work. This is very, very exciting and Tracy's here as well. It's wonderful to contemplate on our life's work that um, I'm sure you have a lot of insights maybe already on your life's work. But let's see what else we can rediscover, what else we can add on to our life's work. Here we go. All right. As always, feel free to use the chat to let me know about any technical issues. Fingers crossed. And I hope you can see the slides right now. Any thumbs ups would be great. And also, wonderful. Thank you. Thank you. And also, feel free to use the chat for discussions. Later on, I'll ask some questions. I'll invite some, thank you for the thumbs ups. I'll invite some little cross conversation between us so that we can discuss some things and to um, invite a little bit more insights into our life's work. So this is our gene keys, and let's focus a little bit on the part of the keys. As before, we were speaking quite a lot about the genes and what they are and how important they are. So today we're actually going to focus on the second part of the word gene key, and the word the key. So we are now more or less are almost through the half of the journey with the gene keys, and we have gotten some keys. And as we are holding the keys, now it's up to us which doors we are opening up. And as we are opening these doors, how far and what we are going to do as we enter those doors, what we are going to discover. So once again, I would like to invite and remind you that the journey is on. The journey is constantly on. So like the person who holds the key, you're constantly unlocking the gene. So it's never just we've done this week and we're done through our life's work. Our life's works continues, as you could definitely see. And another beauty of this retreat that we have is that you will have the transmission of your own wisdom that will stay with you throughout the year, throughout the years, that will help you to get back to your keys anytime that you would like to unlock this door. And specifically today, the door that we're unlocking, or the door that we are opening up even wider for ourselves, will be the door of the life's work and our purpose of our life's work. So I would love you to take again a good look at the keys that you already have, and also honor and treasure the keys that you have, remembering that those keys opening up specific doors for you into the depths of perception that only you can have. It's not something that I can tell you. It's not something that you can find in the book. It's something that you are. And also on this theme of us being our own teachers, us being our own keepers of wisdom, I also see this tendency as a line 6 of a teacher. I see this is becoming a trend, or the dynamic of how education is going to continue to become, and what education is going to become. Education is going to be more and more about becoming our own teachers rather than seeking or looking for wisdom outside. So rather than for, like, I don't know if you can relate maybe, at least I remember that at least 10, 20 years ago, there was this big tendency and big dynamic of looking for gurus and going to some places to find enlightenment and going somewhere else to find a teacher who will be helping you throughout your life and stuff like this. And now, as we're seeing with everything that is happening currently in the world, we are becoming, or we are at least invited to become more self-sufficient with everything, with our own space, with our own mind, with who we are, with how we are treating ourselves by being ourselves, and also now by discovering more how we are educating ourselves, how we are teaching ourselves as our own sage or wise person, the one that is taking us into this week, the next archetype, but also as our own wisdom, teaching us, educating us. This is where we have traveled so far. So we are having more or less of a complete picture of all of the spheres that we've seen so far. And you could see, one more time, I remind you that we started from purpose sphere right here, that brought us into radiance, that took us into evolution, and now we are at our life's work. And I'm sure we, once in a while, we have considered this question in life: what is my purpose? And what am I here to do in this human world, in the human world? And one thing that we see from this study, from our retreat, we see how our purpose, the essence of our purpose, of our life's work remains the same, more or less, but the frequency, the way that we are fulfilling our life work changes throughout our life. And of course, you could kind of maybe even see why this is, because we are maybe shifting from our shadow of our life work into our life work gift. And then from the gift of our life work, we're shifting more into our divine gift, where it's not that we are doing this work anymore, where the work is actually done through us. So we are being just a vessel that carries out this divine work of ours. And as we will speak a little bit more about shadow today as well, because I think last time I introduced you, I invite you to be a little bit braver while working with your shadows. Today we'll take some specific tools working with our shadows, and specifically working with our shadows in our life work. And also remembering that our life work is a programming partner. Remember this word, programming partner, of our evolution. So the way that our evolution is radiating, the way that our evolution is functioning, will constantly be affecting our life's work. So the moment we are tapping into the shadow of our evolution and raising the bar, or raising the frequency of our evolution, we are immediately raising the bar of our life's work. And this path between this evolution and life work is called the path of challenge. And why the path of challenge is because this is, in a way, for some, maybe for some not, could be the way that we constantly struggle with. Also, why we struggle with is because there is constant reflection of our life's work in our environment. So you kind of see how there's constant back and forth communication with everything that you do and everything that comes back to you, or everything that comes back at you through your work. And as you remember, these are a couple, these are a pair: life work and evolution, radiance and purpose. And they are mirroring each other. You see how they are parallel to each other and they mirror each other. And both way of challenge and the way of core stability, they are paralleling each other. So also what that means, the moment we are more centered in our core stability, the moment we are radiant and more purposeful with this deep siddhis that we started with, the more we remember who we are, the more then we are aligned with our challenge. The easier, the more effortless it is for us to carry on with our life's work and our evolution, because now our challenge is also aligned with our core stability. So this is where our beautiful understanding of disciplines like mind body comes in so beautifully, because we understand the more we align our mind, the more we align our body, and these two become this beautiful vehicle that goes on a very nice path, on a very nice track. And in both of them, combining or bringing them two together, there is the path of breakthrough that we have been working last week. And I know I do understand that this is all, there could be some kind of range of excitement in what you are hearing and understanding, yet at the same time, there could be some feeling of confusion of what you're hearing. And that is all absolutely normal, because why? Because this journey is ongoing. Just like our life, there are moments in our life when everything is absolutely clear and we understand our purpose and we understand where we are and who we are and what we do, and everything is just laid out in front of us brilliantly. And there are, of course, times when we don't really understand. We started to guess ourselves. We started to doubt ourselves. This is just brilliance of the game of life. How thinking that we know is the greatest illusion. Thinking that we know is the greatest arrogance. So remembering, or maybe at least always telling yourself that I don't know is a wonderful thing, but at the same time, inspiring and acknowledging your desire for understanding and for getting to know more. And the beautiful thing with this specific work with Gene Keys is that just simply by contemplating, by simply having this somewhere maybe on the background of your mind, you will consciously or unconsciously continue discovering more things about your life's work, more things about your evolution, more things about your radiance, and more things about your purpose. So as I mentioned before, currently the way that we are going with this retreat, we are going through the path of evolution. We're going up, 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 up. And what I would remind you and encourage you to do once we're done, we only got 2 weeks to go, you can also then take this path of evolution and take it or transform it into the path of involution, and then kind of see where from your life's work, how you go again back into your evolution and spend a week by yourself, just again with your evolution traits and your evolution siddhis and your evolution gifts and shadows, back into your radiance, gifts and shadow, back into your purpose. So that will be another way to sort of digest this material and digest this transmission of your own wisdom on a higher level, on a deeper level that goes back into you, from you back into you. So this is also where our life works is. We are finally right here in our environment. What we are bringing into our environment, what gifts we are sharing with our environment, and what frequency. It's not necessarily what we do as the vacation, as the skill that what we do, but rather the frequency, the essence that you carry through that what you do. That is what your life's work. And as you look right now, hopefully, into the words of your shadow of your life work, into the shadow or into the gift of your life work, and into your siddhi or divine gift or your life work, take a moment to understand, how is the shadow of the life work that you have written down in your profile play itself out. Just take a moment to feel that and see how the gift of your life work is playing itself out. And then the highest frequency of your life work, how does that play itself out? And this is also, our life work could be also understood in the way that it is in the philosophy or in the teachings of human design, and in the teaching of human design is like the base discipline of Gene Keys. The way that this number is calculated, the number of our life work, the way that it's calculated, it is calculated by the position of the sun prior our birth, 88 days prior our birth. And that's how we receive that specific number. So that our life work is kind of predestined, or the frequency of our life work is predestined as we are coming into our actual physical material life as a body. And since it is our life, it is shining the frequency onto the material life, into the life that we are creating around us. And in your profile, there are two suns. So this sun of life work is a very conscious type of sun. It's a sun that is shining consciously in your life. Why it is shining consciously? Because more or less you can see the results of the frequency of your sun, of this life's work. And also people around you could maybe give you a feedback, and they could see, oh yes, I could definitely see this frequency coming through you, this frequency resonating through your life work. So this is our conscious sun. And this line of challenge is our conscious line. We can actually observe this happening in our environment quite vividly. And then when we talk about core stability, it's our unconscious type of sense. It's something that we don't always understand. It's something that we don't always see in our environment. It's something that we can understand as we look deeper and dig deeper. And there are deep patterns of our radiance and purpose within us. And so radiance, remember radiance, we were talking about radiance, it's like our aura, something that radiates in our chakras, in our aura. So radiance is our subconscious sun or unconscious sun, kind of like an other side of the sun that also shines on the purpose that is our earth here. And here evolution is our earth. So that's another way to kind of look at this too, as our conscious sun and unconscious sun, the sun of life work and the sun of our radiance. And of course, what's important to have them beautifully aligned, because it's a hologenetic profile. So something, as I'm speaking right now of the radiance, and something that I want to do is I'm going to kind of rewind us a little bit backwards into your radiance, because I hope most of you have your profiles printed or somewhere on your phones or something. And what I would like us to do is to look at the number of your radiance, of the line of your radiance. So your radiance will also have a first number, it will have a point, a dot, and then the second number. So what I would like you to do right now, to use the chat, and please type in the chat the line number of your radiance, because it's something that we haven't discussed, and it's something that I would like to have for our next week. Because what we will do, we will bring together two numbers of our lines of our two suns, of our unconscious sun and our conscious sun, and we get to create a little description of us. All right, so what I would like you to type in right now is the number of the line of your radiance. Or if you don't know what's the number of the line of your radiance, type in the whole number that you have, and I'll figure out of there. Beautiful, thank you very much. This is excellent. It will go into the chat, it will stay into the chat, and this is mainly for me, so that for the next week I can create our little profiles, and I will see how those profiles are speaking to us or describing us in some way, describing our conscious design and our unconscious design, and how we can use that together as a tool of operating our life. Thank you very much. Wonderful. So as again, bring us back to the remembering that we were talking and working with our evolution and involution, and reminding you one more time that evolution is us going from the inside going outside, and the involution us then going from the outside going inside. Okay, and then you can take this way back into involution. Also reminding us that we are working with a collective and individual. So we're working with our individual traits and our individual frequencies, but elevating the frequency of the collective. Just like what? Just like our sun. Once again, we will here speak quite a lot about the sign, the planet sign, or this big star that gives life to this whole solar system where we are, to this whole galaxy of where we are. So think of sun unconditionally gifting, unconditionally giving her gift of warmth, light to all of the planets. And Earth, Mother Earth, receives the most of the goodness because Earth is positioned so well that we have this perfect amount of life force, and we can receive the life force that is just actually so beautifully diverse. At least that's what we think at this stage of our human development. We don't really see any other life the way it is on Earth. And so Sun does not wait for acknowledgement. Sun is not expecting anything back from Earth. Sun is just doing its beautiful divine work of giving. So life work is, in a way, once we fully accept it, once we fully resonate, or we fully allow our life work to take over us in a way, and then we become the sun that constantly is giving without expecting anything back. And let me see the chat if there's beautiful. I see some chat going there and us speaking about different lines, which brings us into our lines. And just like our evolution had a specific line, so does our life work. So what does that mean, line for life work? Simply think that we are all collectively as a big universe, and we all are sun, a planet star sun. So remember, there are 64 hexagrams in total. So we are 64 multiplied by 6 becomes a what? Very big number. Becomes a like number. We have a 300. Who can do math real fast? 64 multiplied by 6. We are 384 variations of sun, of different sunlight that is possible out there, at least on this planet Earth, in this plane of reality. So there we are, 384 variations of different sunlight, of different warmth, of different gift of that we can channel through our life's work. So now, as you look at your life's work, its shadow, gift, and its divine gift, or siddhi, then you look at the second number, and there is the second number. That is your line. And that line number is usually the same number as the number of your evolution. They have very similar frequency, they have very similar essence, they have very similar taste to them, although we just put them in a slightly different wrap, and a slightly different way with the different words, right? So we kind of explore this different linguistic perspective onto this line. And so as the life work, if we kind of think of a life work as a profession or as some type of vacation, we now have a description to all of these lines as a vacation in a way, like this higher divine vacation, right? So line one as a vacation is the vacation of creator, is the job or description of a creator. What does it mean, creator? If you maybe remember, maybe not, that's totally fine because I'm here to remind you. The line one in evolution was self and empowerment. And here it translates into creator. So line ones come to dig deep into their own passions, dig deep into their own interests in order to create something different, in order to alter that what has already been, that has already existed. So they could be called the creators. They could be called those that come in to create something quite different, to alter that has already existed. But the way where they're finding it from this deep within self-empowered sense of creation. So that comes from deep within, from self. So this is the way how we can work or how we can help those that are line ones, right? And here we are also talking a little bit more about others, since the life work is something that we give out. So I don't know where this retreat will take you, but if in a way you decide maybe to use this knowledge as the way to work with yourself and also the way to observe others and maybe help others. And if you know somebody with line one and you know their gifts or they know their gifts, but they're not sure what to do with the gifts or how to direct their gift, they direct their gift into themselves, into their work with themselves, knowing from knowing from that work, they will open up and they will create something incredibly beautiful out of there. So then we have line two. The line two in our evolution was standing for the passion and relationship. We also called it line of marriage in the purpose and the radiance line. Here it is the line of the dancer. The dancer, why we call it here the dancer, not just because they are the people who dance all the time. It's the line that is discovering the science of flow. They discover how to be more in flow with everything that is happening in their environment, with everything that is happening in their life. So that is why the dancer is this analogy here, is helping us to be more playful with everything that is going on around the dancer, to be more allowing with everything that is happening around the dancer. Because for line two, it doesn't mean that their life is going to be one beautiful flowy dance. It could actually be quite opposite. Their life could have a lot of obstacles. Their life could have a lot of things that they literally need to dance around to create beauty, to create dance, because all those obstacles could make their life heavy, bring them down in a way. So that is dancing around, flowing like a water with the obstacles. And that is also quite often, that is the obstacle of relationship, the obstacle of the passion that comes through relationship, through relating with others, relating with people around them. Then the line three, we come to line three, the changer. The line three are the people that in evolution, we were talking about the energy and the experience and people who are kind of like, they are explorers. They're the ones that explore all the time. They're the people who have the energy to be explorer, and the courage of the changer that is not afraid to bump into something that does not work in order to understand that this is what is not working, and this is why I'm here to show you all that this is not working, and we are here to think how to create the change. We are here to bring the change around us, about us. So these are our lines of changers. And also for my line 6, also to remind you that line 6 until they're 30, they leave the line of a changer. They're experiencing this quite a lot, line 6s. There's a lot of bumping into things, tons of projects to change, tons of project to work on. So that's the energy of line 3. So that's intense and very, very powerful type of energy that is around them. Line 4, the line of the server. If you remember, in line 4, previously we had the community and love, but more unconditional love, truly the love of the sun. And the server is here to help, to bring this love, to serve others, to also to inspire the relationship amongst others, also inspire unconditional love amongst people. So that is this deep sort of sense of serving and delivering this higher frequency of unconditional love in the way of the service, spreading also these frequency or the feel of spreading the greatness, spreading the love, spreading the resources, spreading the knowledge. That would be also line 4. That's their gift there. Line 5 are the line of the fixer, the line of the leader. The line that comes from evolution is also power and projection, is definitely line that shows up to tell everyone how to fix situation. The line 5 would be the line who listens to all of this mumbo jumbo and would be like, okay, how can I make this practical? How can I really make it applicable to life around me, to life around people? How can I better their lives? So they're the ones that are here to create this big fix around things that already exist, but they're here to make them way better, way more beneficial to the most. So lots of leadership qualities. Line 6 are the teachers. We are coming from evolution of education and surrender. So it doesn't mean necessarily that these are going to be people who are the teachers, just like any of these other descriptions of any line. That does not mean that they are not going to become a teacher or they're not going to become a fixer or a dancer, right? It could be that the line 4, the server, but he or she is actual dancer. That would be a beautiful combination that, you know, as a line 4 serves delivering some beauty and conditional love through the art of dance. I think that would be just such a beautiful thing. So with a teacher, you know, it could be a plumber, but he has line 6 of a teacher. So that would mean that that would be a plumber of, or the teacher of all plumbers. It would be a plumber who goes about his life, not because he's really interested in fixing the tubes or pipes. He's really interested in the art. He's really interested into observing why the issue with pipes are happening. So once he observes all those issues, he's then is able to tell other plumbers why those issues happen. So he finds this deep wisdom of life's work. So this is how I brought about the description of a teacher of line 6. So line 6 as a teacher brings education and surrender. So looking at life from a greater, bigger picture, from a greater perspective in a way. And not because really he or she wants to know that greater perspective. Well, in a way, he wants to know the greater perspective, but also he wants to pass the knowledge. He is serving as the sort of like a transmission vehicle to the next generation of the evolution of the wisdom. So whatever wisdom he or she is carrying as a teacher, he or she is passing it to his children, to his disciples, to his students, to his wives or husbands, or to people in his environment, the knowledge that he's carrying. It's also the role model. Wonderful. Let me see what's going on in the chat. Great. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, so these are our 6 lines. Let me know if you have any questions about these 6 lines, because since we know them pretty well by now. I'm going to show you this slide one more time. Okay, type in any questions if you have regarding the line. And I'm assuming that you have the same line of your evolution, the same line of your evolution as the same line as your life's work. So they are usually the same number. So evolution, contemplating your evolution usually takes you into contemplation of your life's work because it has the same frequency, the same sense. Great. Tracy's asking, are those for our radiance of life's work? These are for our life work, specifically for our life work and our evolution. I asked about radiance before. That was kind of unrelated because I want to have your radiance lines because I didn't ask them in the previous classes, and I want to have them. So radiance have their own numbers. So let's signify, let's underline this again. So our radiance and our purpose has one number, and then our evolution and our life work has a different number. So we have numbers total. Okay, brilliant. Yes, yeah, the line of number, the same for evolution and for life's work, correct. Very good, very good. Let's go. You can continue having your questions if you feel like having them, and I will look further into I'm looking further into the next slide. As we're bringing the warrior, as we're still kind of with our warrior archetype, with the energy of our warrior archetype, I would also like to bring in the tool to work with our shadow, or to maybe one more time, not just work with our shadow, but to really get to know our shadow specifically in the line of challenge, in the spheres of our evolution and in the spheres of our life's work. Why? Because most often, the moment we are not understanding our shadow in our life's work, in our evolution, this is where we are starting to experience issues with manifestation in our life, right? Because at least the way that our current society is functioning is that we are receiving some goods for the work that we do. We are receiving some material energy exchange for the things that we are giving. Our society yet is not fully unconditional. There is energy exchange that is present. And what happens the moment we don't understand our shadow, or we choose not to look at our shadow, which also means that because our shadow contains a gift, since we're not looking at our shadow, we're also blocking our gifts. So we're in a state where something is sort of blocked. Something is sort of not working properly, something off frequency. So then what we are not receiving the exchange that might be coming in our lives. So we end up maybe having not enough resources. We're maybe not having enough money. We're maybe not having enough love. We might not having that what we're really longing for. And so then we are ending up being unfulfilled by our life's work. Then we are ending up being unhappy in that what we do. And I think for many, or for a few of us at least, we have faced some of this during our life experiences. And so let's see what are the things that we could do to work with our shadow as we contemplate on our life's work. So working on allowing the shadow, specifically the shadow of our life's work, I'm going to use my own example. Here as my own example of my life's work, shadow is 47 gene key of oppression. So allowing myself to experience oppression is a big, big continuing lesson, since for a long time I would rather not allow oppression in my life. I would rather look away and kind of shift into some type of fantasy around it. And thinking what could be the ways to escape the oppression. And you, as you could probably think, that the ways to avoid oppression are pretty dramatic, right? The way to escape our shadow could always end up as some type of addiction, as some type of behavior trait that is really detrimental, not to our psyche, not only to our psyche, but also to our environment. So through allowing myself to feel oppression, now I have the tool and now I have the gift of awareness. Now I know how oppression feels in my body, where I feel oppression happening within my body. Sometimes for me, it's a very specific feeling that happens within my physiology. I even know that there are some things that happen, let's say, within my, I don't know, let's say spine or back. And I know that I'm pushing away oppression, or I'm not looking at oppression within my life. And so what I'm inviting you to develop awareness around your shadow. So the moment shadow shows up in your environment of your specific gift, maybe that you have a sense, a taste of it. Yeah, so it could be on many different levels. I would call it even synesthesia. Synesthesia is the quality when we are seeing a scent or we are tasting a color. So when our sense of our senses are mixing in and creating this type of different awareness. All right. It could also come as an image, or it could also come as a visual. So the first thing, to allow our shadow. And then the moment I allow my shadow, I accept it. I'm not looking for anyone who is responsible for this great feeling of oppression in my life. I'm not looking for someone who, if I, erase or delete that person or don't answer that message, or if I don't answer this email, or if I just don't think about it, this issue of oppression is not going to exist. So what I do, I simply accept that this is my shadow, that I'm here, that part of my life's work and part of my, and the way that my shine is shining, it is actually shining onto oppression within my life, but also shining onto oppression into around the people around me. And actually, as the sun of your life's work, you are shining not only light on what your shadow or gift is, you're actually also shining that light on others. That is why sometimes when you are in your gift, or when you are in your divine gift, some people might actually be having really hard time around you, because you are, as a gift of what you carry, you now shining light onto their shadows. And a lot of people around might not have a great time facing their shadows. So accepting our shadow, in my example, accepting my oppression. And then the next one would be to embrace it. So the moment I'm embracing my shadow, I'm embracing my responsibility and my ability to respond, my ability to transform the oppression. And in my specific case, it leads me into my gift of transmutation. So here I am looking at a shadow of oppression, transmuting it into the divine gift of transfiguration and transformation, bringing that frequency into my own life and also into my environment. So by embracing our shadow, we are embracing the gift that it contains. So this is a beautiful way to work with your own psyche. This is a beautiful way to um, with narrating how you are dealing with your issues and how you are dealing with your shadows, and seeing how from this comes the gift of your comes the gift and your divine gift, in fact. Let's see, it's synesthesia. Thank you, Lawrence, for typing this. Yeah, synesthesia. That is the word. Well, so before we move into a little bit of relaxation and a little bit of contemplation together as the circle, I would like to put out in the field a few questions about our sun, about the sunlight of our life's purpose that is shining light on our lives. What purpose am I to fulfill in the other world? I guess the word really is supposed to be in the outer world, but self-corrected the other world. So it's not other world. We're not going anywhere. Here is the divine joke for us. What purpose we are fulfilling in this world, in the outer world, not other world. Love it. You can always look 100 times in things that you wrote, and then the moment you're actually going to read them, you will see the typo. So what purpose are we here to fulfill? Something that I would like us to contemplate as we will go into this meditation contemplation together. What does my particular genius look like, and what might prevent it? So as we talk about the genius, it's of course something that we are doing, but why and how we're doing is coming from how and what we are. So remembering our purpose and radiance, and then evolving it into our life work, into our genius. So that's another word for our light, for our sun, for our sunlight is our genius. How can we simply be in our genius, and what maybe prevents us in our life? And how is your genius and my genius activated? To just take a moment to consider this. How is it activated? And a lot of times, this is the answer that is hidden in our evolution. It could be activated through your evolution, through the sphere of your evolution, but of course also through the breakthrough from your purpose and your radiance. But evolution has also the seed of activation of our genius. Let's take a few moments to relax for a second, to get into a comfortable sitting position and invite the element of air. So we will work with the element of air as this omnipresent element, that element that is everywhere, the element that is also very mental. It's the quality of our thoughts to travel through time and space, the quality of our emotions and feelings to travel through time and space. And air is sort of like the conductor of the ether, conductor of this mental feeling energy that we are. So let's, as we are going into our few minutes of meditation and contemplation, let's also invite this sense of air. Well, of course, we'll do this the way that we receive air and connect with air, not through only our skin, but also through our breathing. I invite us to also take a moment to breathe in and breathe out a few times naturally as you do it, to feel your own being. One thing that I like to do is to work a little bit with essential oil. One essential oil that I use a lot is lavender. Helps me to relax a little bit, to ground me a little bit, and also helps me to connect to the air, to sense the air. It activates my synesthesia. It activates my sense of feeling and seeing what the sense is maybe communicating to me. So I put a few drops of essential oil. If you have essential oil somewhere around you, that's wonderful. If not, it's something that you can experiment with later and give it a little rub and just give it a little smell of the essence of this herb that gave me the smell, and that connects me also to my body, to my lungs. Let's take a moment to close our eyes. Relax into our beings, relax into our beautiful bodies that we have. Ground through your sitting bones, ground through your feet, grounding into the very first sphere where we came from, into our purpose. Regardless if you remember your purpose and what your purpose was or not, the word that your purpose is, doesn't matter, just feel your purpose. Maybe taste your purpose, smell your purpose. See your purpose as a vision of something, maybe. And also let's breathe in our purpose. And as we will breathe in our purpose, I'll invite you to hold in your breath for just 3 seconds. So take a deep breath, inhale, hold 3, 2, 1, and then exhale, release any tension through your mouth or through your nose. Let go any tension. Let's repeat this 3 more times at your own pace. Breathe in deeply. Hold your breath for 3 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Breathing out. Let's go for 2 more at your own pace. Every time you breathe in, thinking you are breathing in all the way into your lower abdomen, expanding, connecting to your purpose, connecting to the earth. Do this 1 more time. Deep, long breath. Hold it for 3 seconds as you breathe in. Feel your whole entire being with your breath in, with your inhale, with your purpose, and breathe out. And as you're breathing out, relax into the sensation of your body melting, melting like the element of water, like the element of radiance, radiating your frequency around you in your environment. Paying attention to your breathing, paying attention to your breathing out. Taking a moment to visualize and see and feel and taste your radiance, remembering that this is the space around our bodies. Space around our bodies, energies around our bodies. And concentrating for a few moments on the breathing that is happening at your heart, at the level of your heart. And now as we are going from our core stability, feeling this, our being, our body, our physicality, moving, breaking through into our evolution, connecting to the warmth of our body. Gentle heat and warmth that is created by our inner fire of inspiration or evolution. Bathing into the frequency of our evolution. So feel how the frequency of our evolution is happening through relaxation in our feet, in our hips. Let go of any tension in the lower abdomen and back. Letting go any tension in your shoulders. Relax your palms, your fingers in your hands. Open your hands facing upwards, receiving through your palms and also giving. Relaxing the back of our heads, relaxing our forehead, our eyes, our nose, relaxing our teeth, tongue, throat, relaxing our heart. Our heart brings us close again to our lungs, where we are receiving oxygen. Full circles, starting with a breath, back into our life's purpose. Taking deep breath in, breath out. Exhale, feeling how your life's work is structuring, coding for your gene keys, your reality. Where you are mastering your reality. Through allowance for shadows and acceptance for shadows and dualist, embracing the unconditional take 5 deep conscious breaths to sit with the specifically shadow of our life's purpose. Allowing ourselves to feel the shadow of our life's purpose. regardless how uncomfortable this shadow is. Accept it. Notice how through acceptance of your shadow, your inner sun starts to radiate stronger, unconditionally embracing your shadow, transforming your shadow into your gift. From a monster becomes most adorable. Most lovable. Reach continues to spread love through your acceptance. Observe any sensations in your physical body. Time relax into your physical body, into your bones, feeling your physical structure, grounding yourself into where you are, into your chair, into your room, into your environment. See yourself as a big bright sun shining light. Taking a few deep breaths, breathing into your feet, breathing into the floor, connecting to the earth. And then allowing your eyes to open just a little bit. Look down somewhere in front of you or at your hands. If you have an open source of light like a window, sense the light from the window filling up your environment, but also you are filling up your environment with your own light of life's work. And as you open your eyes more and more, swallow the essence of your frequency. Also tasting or seeing the essence of your life force frequency. Take a few deep breaths. Allow yourself to move your body into any intuitive patterns. Give it a good, delicious stretch. Yummy, yummy. And then let's take a moment let's take 2 minutes to write down or to take a screenshot, a mental screenshot of our experience together, of our meditation together. Maybe there are some insights for some of us. Maybe there are some things that you like to acknowledge. Maybe there's some sense of synesthesia that we discussed that is kind of strange and you just want to put it down. And before we open up space for any possible questions that you might have, and answers hopefully that I might have, or you might have actually for yourself, I would also like to thank you for this experience, for this meditation. As always, when we work in a circle, as we work with a group, so think of having one sun, and here we had 9 sons, that are 8 sons, and maybe even more than this, because they were the sons of your own guides and your own teachers, and there's so much more energy that helps us to shine into our shadows and discover our gifts. And since all of us are hologenetic part of a universe, so as we gather together, we are sort of creating a more complete picture of what is possible for me, what is possible for you. So it's like you are subconsciously sharing your insight with me, and it was a very powerful meditation for me with you today. So thank you so much. I've seen something that has been an interesting sort of ongoing mystery in my own contemplation, and it showed itself in a very beautiful, profound way. So I would like to say thank you for that. Let me see. Thank you, Dawn. Yes, Dawn's sharing very similar huge awakening. Yes, Dawn, thank you. I definitely feel that this was also happening. It's also happening. So feel free to unmute yourself. Feel free to unmute yourself.
I don't see my face anywhere, but I'm going to unmute myself because the huge awakening was for the group, and it was a message for the group that you need to. So I have to go to my gene key because it's important to share, because I finally have clarification and understand what it is I need to do. My universal life work is universal love and acceptance. And my shadow was constrictance. And my shadow for this particular purpose was I looked up my book because I bought the book and it came. And it was about fear and breath and connected to breath. And I've been working on breath. And by working on breath, it gives more love. So the opposite of fear is love. So my shadow has been fear constriction under my total life work. And my total life work is 25.6. Everything is 666. And it's all about love and light and shine and bright and blah, blah, blah. And it finally connected because I'm line 6 for teacher. So finally, like ding, 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 okay,
Yes.
it's time to rock and roll. That was the first
Yes.
thing. But for the group, the message to me through my
Please, please.
guides was that everyone needs to really focus on their shadow and like look at what their shadow is for each of their life work. Because if you start at the top of the pyramid of the hologram and you go backwards and start at the sun and you radiate, you start at your life work and you have to backtrack to see where the missing links are for you to fortify to become your truest life work. So stepping back into the shadows and finding what that really means and how it refers to you through meditation, through prayer, through your purpose, where you're at, through your journey of with people and with your connections with relationships and emotional, spiritual, mental, intellectually. That's the connection that you need to just start and take one. You can do it through inner child, you can do it through your parent, you can do it through your warrior, but you've got to find that one starting point. That was the message to share.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Dawn.
Wow.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Feel free to unmute yourself for any shares, for any questions, for any insights.
The shadow of my evolution is indifference. Mm-hmm. Indifference is the worst thing I can ever experience.
Yeah,
when people are indifferent to things, when they don't care about anything, I'm so passionate about things that are important to me, and I don't understand when people are indifferent. Mm-hmm. And I even have people in my own family who are indifferent to me, and it's very, very painful. So I'm grateful to have that shadow and to embrace it. And then the shadow of my life's work is inertia. And I realize I'm always running away from inertia. I can't stand just standing still. I always feel like I need to be moving forward and learning and growing. And so it was just so interesting to embrace both of these. I can feel it. I don't really want to, but there's things there for me to learn. And that's what this was very powerful.
Thank you, Nancy. Inertia, I know, right? It's like, I think for a lot of people who are here, it's like in the movement industry that you are doing, inertia is something that we just can't relate to, but it gives us great opportunity to discover a lot of things that are uncomfortable, like inertia and indifference. Oh, that is such a beautiful shadow in a way, because it's once we identify that in our environment and we can teach others through acceptance of that indifference, I think that is so powerful, so potent, especially in our times. Yes, thank you, Nancy. Inertia, Tracy's asking, what is inertia? So inertia, at least from the physics perspective, is this inability to move forward, or so I guess in a human sense, it would be our desire not to move forward, or I guess we relate to it as laziness. And I think as this age of productivity, right? I think we've also been so highly conditioned into, oh my gosh, we have to be productive and we have to-do list and not to-be list. So I consider inertia is a beautiful invitation into to-be list. It really, when we are depressing a lot of feelings, we then face melancholy and inertia, where we just have to, our body just doesn't want to do anything. And that's where we are facing shadow of inertia. Yeah, Lawrence is saying that that is one of the 7 deadly sins as a sloth. And I guess could be similar frequency to inertia, similar feeling to inertia, but I actually see inertia more as the external type of frequency. That's something that we avoid in a long time because our inability to relax will sooner or later face us with inertia, because our body will just demand time when we are bored. And I think there's such a huge stigma of that being bored is a bad thing. It's actually not. It's our natural way to get creative. What do we do when we are bored? We are coming up with ideas to do something. And how do you come out with the new creative ideas if you don't allow yourself time to be bored? That is time to be bored for a moment, and then embrace that, allow that boredom, and let it happen, and let it bring you the new insight of creativity. Betty, please unmute yourself.
Well, in my life's work, the essence is beauty. Mm-hmm. And I do feel beauty not only around me in objects and figures, but I see beauty within people. And it gives me great, great pleasure to see somebody do something well. And the beauty of that actually brings tears to my eyes, that they can accomplish something so well. Like even just talking about you, when you show a video where you're doing some marvelous pose in yoga, it isn't so much that you're doing the pose, but the beauty of you being able to do it is what affects me. That you can actually accomplish such a thing within your body. I'm using you as a figure because we will know you and it's a logical place for me to go. So yes, beauty within is what, if I see a performer and the performance is like, to me, extraordinarily exquisite, it's that I'm so enchanted with the person, not so much the performance, but that the person could achieve such a thing, that capability. So I see beauty there. The freshness is the gift. And of course, it goes very well with all the other things, the radiance and the evolution and the purpose, that to see things new, to be creative, which is all part of my gifts. So anything new, I'm open-minded to and ready to receive as best I can. My shadow, I'm not so clear what it means. Entropy or entropy.
And that's a very, again, it's very another different, like a very physical type of entropy, I guess that is. It's similar to the chaos. It's sort of this, I believe that's what it is.
Chaos?
Kind of like chaos. It's the where everything is taken apart, where everything is in a state of sort of disorder, a state of grandiose mess in a way, sort of like similar to chaos.
Oh, well, I don't like that at all. That is not me at all.
No, that is not. That is surely not you.
That is not me. So
no, you don't like that at
I
all.
have to overcome that one for sure, because I don't know how to make that shadow work, but I do not like to sort it.
Yes.
In any way, shape, or form.
Yeah, Lawrence is putting down some descriptions that are, I believe, coming like from Wikipedia. And although they are like physical, physical, actual from physics, descriptions of physics, they are very beautifully, because it's also quantum physics. So it's relates to how we relate to life. And thank you, Betty, so much for sharing this, because I know even your life's work as a teacher had to do a lot with art and beauty. So, and teaching others how to appreciate that. So for me, that really touches my heart, and my mind and my heart is open so wide, because I actually know what you do in your life, and that is gorgeous. Thank you, my friends. We will continue sharing. Because remember, we got Thursday, where I still invite you to use this incredibly beautiful energy that we have created, and to let us to cook in this yummy, delicious juice of our life work and see where it might take us, which gentle whispers it might give us this week, as we are going to work with our sage as well, with our wise person that we are. And I'm looking forward to seeing you on Thursdays. Thank you very much. With gratitude and light, such a pleasure to see you all here. Bye-bye. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.